Are you a fan of intense and atmospheric sci-fi experiences? Well, Bungie's next game may be one for you. At the recent PlayStation Showcase, Bungie announced their brand new game called Marathon, which just might be a familiar name for those of you that have been playing their games for a very long while, because it's one of their earlier franchises, but this isn't the Marathon of old, or something like their juggernauts that is Halo and Destiny. This is their take on an emerging genre. So with this being a new gameplay experience from Bungie, we thought you would probably want to know the lowdown on this game and what you can expect from it. So if you're interested in finding out more about this game in the future, then hit the like button on this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next ones. But tell us how you are feeling about this game after you've learned more about it in this video, because we're interested to hear what you guys think. So the very first thing to know is that the game is an extraction PvP focused extraction shooter, and it will be releasing on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC. If you don't know what an extraction shooter is, then think about Escape from Tarkov or the Division Dark Zone. Players are sent into a large-scale map with various dangers such as AI enemies, as well as other players, and even just the world itself, and then they're tasked with carrying out certain missions in this area or to retrieve valuable items like weapons, gear, and quest items. These games are all about making an intense experience with the risk-reward aspect of extracting items. The way that they achieve this is by having a limited number of exits on the map, which causes players and other dangers to funnel towards these extraction points, and then it all gets dialed up by the fact that if you're defeated in the zone, you will lose all of the gear and items that you're carrying, bar a couple things. Personally, we are very excited because we've really enjoyed our time playing Escape from Tarkov, as the game does have a unique sense of intensity and risk. This is something that isn't too present in other PvP multiplayer games, and when you couple it together with Bungie's ability to create just great games in general, we could have something very cool here. But Bungie games are known for their world building and lore, so what exactly is the story here, and where does this game fit into the Marathon universe? Well, Bungie have said that while the game is set in the same Marathon world as the old games, this game will not be a direct sequel or remake to the original series of games. In the original game's story, you take on the role of a security officer aboard a space colony ship called Marathon. You navigate the challenges of surviving amidst the restless assault of the Four, a diverse group of alien species. Concurrently, you must grapple with the presence of an uncontrollable artificial intelligence system, and it played very much like Doom. Bungie have released a small snippet about the story of this one that gives us a bit of an idea about how this differs from the old games, and it says, quote, "Become a runner in Bungie's new sci-fi PvP extraction shooter. Compete for survival, riches, and renown in a world of evolving, persistent zones where any run can lead to greatness. A massive ghost ship hangs in low orbit over a lost colony. The 30,000 souls who call this world home have disappeared without a trace. Strange signals hint at rumors of mysterious artifacts, long-dormant AI, and troves of untold riches. You are a cybernetic mercenary, a runner, and your destination is Tau Ceti 4. You are one of many working solo or with a crew, venturing into the unknown and facing the unimaginable in a fight for survival, for riches, for fame, and for infamy. Who among you will write their names across the stars?" End quote. Well, in a recent vid doc, Bungie also expanded on what these runners are. They're cybernetic mercenaries, and they allow for customization of different playstyles and visual styles. This will be important when playing with a crew of 2 players, as it will allow you to have your own individuality, which is similar to how Bungie let players create their own custom builds and choose their classes within the Destiny games. We know that we as the runners will be looking for items that will make us stronger, such as artifacts, implants, and weapons, so Bungie's goal is to mix the rich world of Marathon with the extraction shooter gameplay while allowing players to be part of an ongoing narrative as it unfolds. I personally think this is a pretty cool idea and makes the lore feel more tangible if players are incorporated into it. There seems to be a lot of ways to achieve success in Marathon, but one of the objectives mentioned numerous times is obtaining artifacts. It isn't clear exactly what these do, but they do seem very important to the gameplay loop, and we know that players will be able to collect multiple of them in order to assemble them into a prime artifact. Because the game will be an online PvP focused game, a lot of you will be concerned by the fact that the game will of course have servers, and that means latency as well as people potentially cheating, which has become a massive problem in some recent online popular games. The team at Bungie have reassured us that they are taking steps to ensure that Marathon's security is top-notch, as well as the fact that the game will have disconnect recovery and dedicated servers, which is something that Destiny players have long been asking for. In addition to that, we can see that the game will have cross-save and cross-play, which I love to hear. So whichever platform you're picking it up on, you'll be able to play and experience it wherever you want with people on those other platforms. For anyone wondering if the game will have a single-player campaign, well, it has been confirmed that they will not have one, as in an interview with the PlayStation blog, one of the developers expanded on the structure of the game. They said, quote, "Marathon is designed from the start as a PvP-focused game and won't have a single-player campaign. Instead, with the PvP experience as our foundation, we're creating opportunities for player-driven stories to unfold. Stories that are integrated with the overarching game narrative. We're building a world full of persistent, evolving zones where players create their own journey with every run they take. That might mean an unforgettable firefight against another crew, or a last-second extraction while getting beset on all sides." Beyond just the story of your last run, however, we want to give players the chance to affect these persistent zones and the larger world as a result. For example, imagine a crew discovering a previously undiscovered artifact that, when activated, opens a new area of the map for all players to explore. In essence, we're creating a game where the actions of the player have ramifications for the world and the players with each unfolding session." End quote. So even though the game is primarily gameplay focused, players won't just be fighting each other. There will also be AI-controlled enemies to take down and other objectives out in the open world that seem to have an effect on the world itself. The Bungie developer Christopher Barrett expanded on this, saying, quote, "The heart of Marathon's gameplay experience is PvP, but it isn't the entire story. We're building a rich, immersive world that will have ample opportunities for exploration and conflict, both against other players and AI-controlled enemies. Combine that with the different objectives and motivations that players will have for each run, as well as the narrative doors that can be unlocked as players discover things and accomplish tasks, it creates a really rich palette of gameplay possibilities that will only continue to grow and evolve." End quote. The game does sound like it's still quite far out, because the devs have said that they will be going dark for an extended period of time, and when they come back, they will be showing gameplay, and currently they're working towards their alpha. So we're guessing that the game is probably at least a year or more away from release, but if anyone from Bungie is watching, let us in and hook us up. All in all, Bungie definitely have the setup to make something very cool here, and we really love the art style and potential design of the world. We are aware that a lot of people will be put off by the fact that it's a multiplayer focused game, but we will say that extraction shooters like Tarkov are the closest thing that you will get to a PvE campaign experience in an online game, because you're free to avoid conflict and go about different objectives in your own way, kind of similar to how quests in single player games let you tackle different objectives by going about your own path. The trailer for this one was just really cool, so we're going to leave it with you guys to watch.